Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Nikolai Kuznetsov on the screen. He, of course, is the commander I'm using on the Tier 7 tech tree Russian cruiser, the Chapayev. Note, in this third line of skills, we have Punch Through selected, because after the Equilibrium of Power rework, I suppose you might call it, where that skill was added to Norman Scott and Thomas Kincaid, the two American commanders, Equilibrium of Power was moved on Kuznetsov from that third row of skills to the Legendary row of skills. And you might call that, in a sense, a nerf to this ship, or a buff. Certainly some kind of trade-off. I'm not sure. Because, this ship was already nerfed once, right? It used to have 30 or 32 millimeter bow armor, which was just kind of stupid. Even battleships with 16-inch guns, like your Iowas, could not damage this thing through the bow. They nerfed that, brought it down to 27 millimeters. Now the Chapayev can bow tank battleships with 15-inch guns, but not 16-inch guns, which is certainly a little better. Now, the reason I say you might consider Equilibrium of Power, or the rework of Equilibrium of Power, to be a nerf on this ship in particular, is because it is in the Legendary row of skills now, and it takes the place of what I was using before in that row of skills, which was fully packed, giving me 3 heals, 3 radars, and 3 sonars. Now, if I want to use Equilibrium of Power, I can't use fully packed, whereas before, I could. Same situation on the American cruisers, but for them, I would consider it much more of a buff, because they have access to a skill that lets them deal consistent damage with their high explosive shells, whereas before they did not. The Russians always had access to that skill, and on top of that, they could get 3 consumables. Now they can't, so a little bit of a nerf in that sense. Although now, you can apply Punch Through as a skill on Kuznetsov here, and make the AP a little bit more effective, and we are going to end up using the AP at some point during this battle. So, definitely a trade-off. If you're wondering whether the Chapayev has changed all that much since the last time I actually covered it on this channel, no, it's still ridiculously strong, despite the fact that it now has 1 less heal, 1 less radar, 1 less sonar. Although I kind of wonder whether this ship did receive a nerf that was not talked about, because I was looking at the radar stats before this game, and I always thought the Chapayev's radar ranged out to 12 kilometers. Well, the consumable stats for the ship now say 11.7, which I thought is a little bit less distance than the radar used to cover, unless I'm just completely imagining things, and it was always 11.7, but I just rounded it up to 12 in my mind. Either way, very long-range radar, and we are going to use it here. We already have, in fact. We used it to spot that kid, which resulted in him running away from the cap circle in order to preserve his life, and now my team has flipped it. So these Russian cruisers with their long-range radar are quite powerful in that sense, and you don't have to be right on top of the target to spot it. We are going to use the radar again, too, before this game ends, but for now, we're just kind of sitting in the back of the line doing what most Chapayevs out there probably do, which is bombing on battleships with the high explosive. We haven't racked up too much damage yet, but we'll get there. 28,005 fires set already. Once again, if we're talking about Equilibrium of Power, there should probably be more of a nerf to fire chance. There we light 2 fires in a row on that Odin. If you're going to be doing consistent high explosive shell damage like this, then I don't know why you need such a high fire chance. You really don't. Should reduce the fire chance by something like 50% for all the ships it's applied to, but maybe someday we'll get that. That's neither here nor there. Now, we're moving in here a little bit more, trying to reposition ourselves. We did take a nasty salvo from that Iowa early on in the game. I think that was actually a Citadel that he hit us for. So here we're trying to exact a little bit of revenge, lighting the Iowa on fire as he's way out there. Kind of accidentally sailing into this guy's smoke screen here. Not sure what that is, an Italian cruiser of some kind. His smoke screen doesn't have a lot of time left, so we are going to leave it. Looks like this cap circle is pretty well secure though, and the majority of our ships are over here. So we're kind of thinking about moving more toward the western side of the map, kind of up north of Bravo, maybe toward Charlie. That Odin looks like he's going to go down, and essentially on this side, that's just going to leave the Iowa. There's some ship out there to the distance, near the right, and I think that kid is still wandering around. Did not actually get the opportunity to take him out. Somewhat problematic, but our destroyer, also alive. He's out there. He's kind of in a dangerous position if that kid is still out there. Of course, the kid can probably wreck him. Got an enemy Kutuzov out there, and we'll see what he thinks about being on the receiving end of this HE spamming menace stuff. Don't know what to call it. Still firing on the Iowa as we move in. We probably do want to take on that enemy Kutuzov, and if we could get another fire on the Iowa, that would just be divine. It would make me feel like a true HE spamming menace, and a real annoyance to these poor battleships. And of course, there's the fire. It's not like we had to wait very long for that to happen. So, moving in toward Bravo now. We've got our eye on potentially trying to flip it or to counter this enemy Kutuzov if he has a similar idea, which I believe he might. Looks like a friendly Bismarck is moving right up in the Iowa's face, possibly going for the ram, which, fair enough. I guess that's a way to take somebody out. Maybe he's gonna... Yeah, well, double strike there from the friendly Moss. Moss actually takes out the Iowa, or devastating strike, rather. So, no ram for the Bismarck. Ram denied. How sad. Looks like we are going to be in a position, though, to enter this Bravo cap at least unspotted, perhaps uncontested. The Kutuzov has settled on a location. Miyoko way out there. We're going to take some shots at him, switch to the AP now. Now that we have punch through applied, we do get a nice boost to the effectiveness of the Kutuzov's AP. And in fact, there's that Kutuzov, or not the Kutuzov, the Chapayev's AP. There's that Kutuzov that we did spot. He smoked up in front of Bravo. Well within radar range, we're able to flush him out. Kind of nice that the Tech Tree Tier 7 Russian cruiser has a nice counter for the premium Russian Tier 7 cruiser in the form of radar. Easily take the Kutuzov out there, hit his Citadel, and destroy him. That leaves only 3 ships left alive on the enemy team, and in about 4 seconds we will have succeeded in solo capping this Bravo cap. The other Kutuzov out there, he's moving in. We've still got the AP loaded, and I think we probably have a health advantage over him. Even if we don't, I feel like, for whatever reason, this guy is not expecting this. So we are able to just kind of pop out here, just smack him right in the Citadel for 14k. I'm sure that felt nice. 2 Citadels, actually. And we can follow it up with another 2 citadels for 4 citadels on that guy before one of our teammates hopefully finishes him off. So we're at 121,000 damage now. Gonna take some much longer range AP shots at the Miyoko, see how those fare, and of course that's why I'm saying I don't know. You could consider the equilibrium of power rework a little bit of a nerf for this ship since you lose your consumables, but then again, you gain some extra oomph to the armor piercing, which was already pretty good to begin with. Good enough to take down the Miyoko there? I don't know, maybe if we can actually hit him. But for now, we do have the Bismarck right in front of us. Now, of course, the Bismarck has 15-inch guns. The Chapayev has 27 millimeters of bow armor, much like the Baltimore or the Wichita. So we are able to bow tank this guy if it becomes necessary. And, you know, even if we weren't able to bow tank this guy, you can see that his shots are not what you would call pinpoint accurate. Turning away now might be a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a reckless move here. It's possible that RNG could grace the Bismarck with nice accuracy, or he could throw up his spotter plane and citadel us into oblivion. For some reason, though, I don't think that's going to happen, so we are able to angle away, assume a kiting position. Not that we're really going to need it. It's only a matter of a few moments before this Bismarck gets taken out. So there we get the high caliber metal. Not too terribly difficult to get in this ship, which is just ridiculously strong even still. So there's a look at the Chapayev for those of you who wanted it. I know some of you did. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already done that. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.